Chief Oju of the Curriculum Committee here at Black Hammer. We need you, revolutionary educators, whether you're teaching in your school or teaching your kid the revolutionary ABCs at the work. We need you to join our curriculum committee so we can teach our young people, our members, and everyone out there about Black Hammer's revolutionary anti-colonial line. All right? Join today and let's get to teaching our people.
Land back, everyone.
Land back. How's everybody doing?
Good morning. Does everyone got their coffee ready? I know I do. This big coffee mug the size of my face.
Off to a great start.
Yes. And we're here today to discuss the Materialism and the Dialectical Method by this galleta, Maurice Cornforth. Cornforth? It's a really bad name.
Yeah. Land back, Jaybird. Earl Grey is such a hit every time. Always a good choice.
Yeah, one of my favorite teas for sure. It's like you don't even really need that much sugar. It's already so sweet. So good.
I'll take sugar.
I mean, yeah, sugar's good with it, but I'll always need a little extra sweetener.
That too.
Yes, so good.
So good.
But yeah, today we're going to be talking about, materialism and dialectical method. We have some really great read that backs for y'all. But, just with this book, keep in mind that it is written by, a white person. It's based off of that kind of view. So just take a little time to read through it and pull the gems out. The gems are what is needed.
And we'll be getting into that obviously during this book trap. So make sure that you're liking and sharing everywhere. Share it. Words are hard, y'all. Share it with the YouTube people in your life, so they can come find out what real dialectical materialism is and what it should be.
Yeah. Land
back, G. Excited that all of y'all are up early to get this political education. I have my coffee.
Yes. Yeah, and keep liking and sharing. Make sure you're if you're on your phone, watching on your phone, you hit those like and heart emojis so it goes all the way up. I like it. I like doing that.
I know, it looks like confetti.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good time.
Yeah. But yeah, share it into all the Facebook groups, all the different groups, especially the ones where all the YouTube people are at. So that we can also get into materially getting the resources that we need, right? But yeah, land back, everyone. And if you all don't see your comrades in here, make sure you're calling them up. I don't see anywhere near as many land backs as I would like. Drop that land back if you are in here. Salute Jaybird for sharing 7 times on Twitter.
Jaybird's always on it.
So true.
No matter what it is. We appreciate you, Jaybird.
100%.
Alrighty. Well. Oh, okay, Oju. And yes, all self-critical. We did not even introduce ourselves. I can start. We just assume we all know who we are.
So we're just that famous.
Okay. My name is Watakame. I represent the Coca and Huirarica people of Abya Yala, concentrated in colonized Mexico. I represent the poor working class, and my pronouns are they, them. And I am the chief of the Natural Events Preparedness Committee for Black Hammer. And the chief of staff for the Ministry of People's Affairs.
Yes, I'm back. I am Ren. I represent the nations of Panama and Colombia. I am a little pettiboo, went to college and all that crap. But I'm committing, class suicide and all that. And I use they, them, she, her pronouns. And yeah, I'm the Minister of People's Affairs. I am, you know, the person that makes sure that people are staying safe with COVID or staying safe with natural events, and using technology, things like that to support those different things that we're trying to build up, and also growing food, for people.
Yes, all about that self-determination.
Yes.
Building self-determination within our people, outside of the colony, outside of the system, because we know that it's not reliable, right? So it's important for us to learn how to do things for ourselves and for each other.
Yes, and to materially support each other, right? And to materially we see through dialectical materialism that that the system isn't built for us. It's built to actually hurt and kill us, right? So what do we got to do to make sure that we're okay? That all colonized people around the world are okay? Build up our own system, and through food sovereignty, through preparing for natural events, things like that. We are doing that regularly. So, yeah, that is what Ministry of People's Affairs is about. But yeah, y'all keep sharing, keep liking, get your comrades in here and everything.
And again, we will be reading Materialism and the Dialectical Method by Maurice Cornforth.
I really can't get over the last name.
It's a galleta person, so keep that in mind. And if you don't know what a galleta person is, go to Google Translate from Spanish and put galleta. Y a ver qué te dice. And it's YouTube people. It's YouTube people. And honestly, I'm really excited for this book, mostly to break it down because galleta people can talk and make no sense.
Out their butt, y'all. They just keep on talking and saying the same thing over and over again. And yeah, it's a doozy.
I feel like these first 3 chapters, because we're reading chapters 1 through 3 this week, or that's what we're basing this episode off of. It could have been summarized in 2 pages.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just materially speaking or whatever.
Yes, but that's what we're here to do. We're here to break this down with y'all. So I hope y'all also have your read that facts, because yeah, there are some good gems in here. And there's also good gems for us to continue to drag him. So if you do, there were some parts that I was like, ooh, okay, we're about to go in on just this little section, So be prepared for some drag.
And I'm really excited because we understand, as Hammers, as revolutionaries, we have to be dialectical materialists, right? It's how we understand the world, and we understand the situation that our colonized people are living in. And yeah, being dialectical and being materialist is our biggest weapon to forward the revolution. And that's what that's what the Revolutionary Book Trap is about, right? It's about being dialectical, historical dialectical materialist. Right, we look at what's been done before, what can we do now, and how to get there. Yeah, exactly, Chief Odru. It saves our work. So, yeah, to get into that, what is our work? What is our work? I'm sure that y'all have heard of Hurricane Ida and the work that we've been able to do in New Orleans. We had our amazing Atlanta chapter comrades drive over the day after the storm hit to start materially supporting our people, right? But we understand that because of this colonial climate crisis, we can't just go once and that's it, right? So guess what? I'm sure y'all have heard it by now, but we're going back. We're going back to New Orleans. We're going back to Louisiana to continue to support the people there. Because we understand this colony is not built for us, right? Even just the term natural disasters, nature is nature. Nature is balance. Nature is reacting to whatever colonialism has done. And we understand that the only disaster comes from the failure of colonialism, right? The failure of the colony, infrastructure failure. Um, that leaves our people hanging. It leaves our people in deadly situations. And we are going to fight that as much as we can. So for today's fundraiser, we do have a goal of $700, and again, everything, absolutely everything, is going to be going for materials, supplies, anything needed to support the people of New Orleans. So I do want to start seeing those donations coming in, because again, it's for material change. If you can't be on the ground, if you cannot be there with your hands and serving the people, support the people who can, right? Because we all understand we come from different situations, we live in different parts of the world. That's okay. Let's do what we can. All right?
Yeah, and then back also, like, some of the materials that we're planning on bringing include tarps. Like, with this wind that literally took off people's roofs, like, we need to make sure that people at least have dry spaces in their house. And we're gonna, and tarps is one of the things that even like the shelters, even the places that are there, like, the Fed FEMA group or whatever, like, they are also like trying to work out getting tarps down there, like they have been lacking in supporting the community materially with the things that they need, including tarps, including gas, including so many things that are, just like, people are just trying to survive, and they don't have a lot of the basic things that they need, just even just how to stay cool in the humid heat that is happening down in New Orleans and southern, like, Louisiana. Like, they are struggling with just basic things of like how to stay cool you know with this heat. So but yeah, let back, Chief Oju, appreciate the $40. Who else can, like, message a comrade and be like, hey, I got 10, you got 10, all right, great, we're about halfway to 40. Try to make up that $40 together. But yeah, you can also pledge. You can pledge. We know that people are getting paid on the 15th in 3 days. Maybe you need like two days after that. So maybe the 17th you can donate 5, 10, $20, or like Oju $40. Go all in. But yeah, you can also pledge when you get paid, because we know we're poor working class, or we're committing class suicide. So we know that people are, and also with this pandemic, like, we know that people are struggling. So pledging is a good option.
Yeah, exactly. And if you can't pledge or donate right now, like Minister Van said, we are poor working class. We get it. So share. Share it to all the pages, share into people's DMs, share into comments, Twitter threads, anything like that. Because someone else can, right? Someone else can donate, someone else can pledge. And it just takes giving them the opportunity of how, right? So remember, the Cash App is
Black Hammer Org.
Black Hammer Org, thank you. Black Hammer Org on Cash App, if someone could put that in the comments. Oh, look, there it is. That beautiful picture of our comrades in Louisiana. It was exactly the first time we went. We were giving out care packages, right? What was it, over 1,000?
I think so.
Over 1,000 care packages, right? And as amazing as that is, we know that we can do more for the people, but it is a collective effort. So I'm not seeing nearly enough donations or pledges. Again, this is not for us, y'all. This is to directly serve the masses. This is to directly help the people rebuild. Because, y'all, where Ida hit the most has the least amount of resources available. Yeah, let's see those reparations too. Because you know where those resources are? In white neighborhoods.
Yeah, the highest concentration is in like the downtown New Orleans. Like, of course, they put it in the area that is like very, it's touristy. Like, people go there to for Mardi Gras and all that crap. Like, they put it in those areas because that's where the most revenue is generated every year, right? For Mardi Gras, for like people who want to check out, the history of jazz and stuff like that, right? Which is, honestly, I love jazz, so like I would definitely go. But also, that is not what should be the case, right? Like we need to have resources evenly distributed in all the different places, especially concentrated in the places that are hit the hardest. New Orleans was not hit the hardest. There are places like La Place. There are places like Saint Bernard. There are places like
The lower ninth.
Yeah, the lower ninth. Like there are so many different places that are not in downtown, New Orleans that deserve charging stations. There's like a lot of some of the resources include even just refilling their oxygen tanks because people need to breathe, and even those resources aren't found in some of the places that we're talking about. And those literally will kill people. So but yeah, let's see some of the amazing work that our Atlanta chapter did, just not too long ago, and that we're planning on doing, but even more so, taking it up a few notches in the next week. Play that video, dude. Land back. Wasn't that amazing work? And you could see like a lot of the destruction inside of people's houses, how they were, like literal roofs, like the insulation coming in. And insulation, that that stuff is really like you can have a lot of skin reactions, even if you don't have any kind of conditions, any kind of, like health problems. Like if you touch it, you're itchy. You get itchy all over. It can spread like it's like weird. It turns into like weird dust. So yeah, it's so dangerous. And that stuff was hanging from somebody's ceiling. Like, nah, y'all. Like we gotta get our materials down there.
What it does for you, exactly, Oju. Like imagine like what it does for your skin. Imagine what it's doing when you're breathing it in. Right, and people who are already had COVID, or because of again colonial failures, may get COVID. We cannot risk having weaker lungs. We cannot risk having damaged lungs, which is why when we were over there, we were also handing out K95 masks, which we know protect us not only from COVID, but from different pollutants like insulation and just air pollution, which is nasty. But yeah, I do want to shout out Chief Oju again, who donated $20 more for the people of New Orleans. Let's see who can match.
Or even, hit up your friends, hit up your family, be like, hey, I'm a little low on the funds. Can I, borrow $10 or something,
And give it right back to the people.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if someone can spare the money, people need it.
Exactly.
But yeah, let's get into this book. We have some quick trivia for y'all. Let's see if you did the reading.
Who did the homework?
Who did the homework? Because you knew it was coming. We announced it.
We do it every single time, y'all.
Every time. Okay. And this is such an easy one, please.
Y'all just had to read the first, 3 pages.
Okay, the question is, the opposing side to materialism is A, selflessness, B, idealism, C, democracy, or D, capitalism. Drop your guesses. No cheating. This is always the point where people are waiting for someone else to answer first.
Yeah.
Trust,
I don't know.
Trust yourself. Trust yourself.
Yeah. Believe in your leadership, y'all.
Yeah, and even if you're wrong, that's okay. All you gotta do is donate $10. That's all.
Or share those 10 times.
Exactly.
Ain't
no thing. Okay, G was brave and put a B. What does everyone think is G right or wrong? We're gonna copy G or we're gonna
Oh, maybe
Oh.
Oju's copying G. I don't know.
Did Oju do the reading? Did Oju copy G? We're gonna find out. Copying.
Oh, okay.
All right then, everything's riding on you, G. Did you do the reading?
You live with us, so I sure hope so.
We're gonna find out.
Is it giving you some teacher flashbacks? It's giving me a little bit of teacher flashbacks.
You know, I am a teacher. GP's copying Oju, who's copying G. All right. I'm waiting for some more answers because I'm still trying to see who's sweating. If they're sweating, drop $1. $1 per sweat.
$1 per droplet on your head of sweat.
Drink my coffee while y'all figure out if you did the reading.
Alright, y'all.
You'll pull up the PDF at least or something.
Yeah, just pull it up.
It's a free link in our library. Alrighty, I think we're ready for the answer. The answer is idealism. She was right. She was right. She was right. Sorry. But yeah, idealism, that is the opposite of materialism. That is what is referring to the dialectical Sorry, we're gonna try to
Laying back, we're gonna be trying to get to the bottom of what the audio issue is right now. It was going wild, it was going good, and for a while, right? But you know how the state we talking about materialism now, so we're gonna work on this. But in the meantime, get your read that backs ready. Make sure that you are going to the book, going to our PDF, which is at blackhammer.org/library, and make sure that you are understanding just how you can be material for a revolutionary organization, right? And we're going to be talking about the difference between materialism and idealism, and just like our trivia question said, all right? So make sure and make sure you're going to our library at blackhammer.org/library, and we're going to continue this. We're gonna see if we can get them to leave the studio and come back in, just so that the audio might be better. All right. In the meantime, if you haven't started getting too deep already, we're reading chapters 1 through 3 of Maurice Cornforth's Materialism and Dialectical Method. And so let's see if we
I am back, y'all.
lay him back.
Goodness gracious.
Look at that. Look at that. Ain't no contradiction can stop us.
Not for colonized brilliance.
No. We pulled the old. Did you turn it off and on?
Turn it all the way off and then turn it all the way back on.
Step number 1 for any IT issues. Alrighty. Let's get into these Rita backs. I do expect to see y'all dropping yours. Because I know we weren't the only ones who did the reading.
Right? Unless everyone was really copying. Didn't even read nothing.
Y'all are going to be like, OMG, that was mine too. Okay, I will start with mine. Okay. It goes, it is on page 12 of the book. I believe page 14 of the PDF. No, 16. Page 12 of the book. And about a little more than halfway down. Okay. So it says, except for the working class, all other classes which have aspired to take the leadership of society have been exploiting classes. But every exploiting class, whatever its achievements, always has always to find some way of disguising its real position, and aims both from itself and from the exploited, and of making out that its rule is just and permanent. For such a class can never recognize its real position and aims as exploiting class or temporary character of its own system. All right, and then this one I also pulled from page 13, just for like a full idea type of thing. It says, but the working class does not need to perpetuate itself. On the contrary, it needs to do away with its own existence as a class as quickly as possible and to establish a classist society. Therefore, the working class has no use at all for any philosophical system which establishes any false permanence. Its class position and aims are such that it can afford to and needs to recognize and trace out the change coming to being and ceasing to be of everything in existence. Plan back. That's what we meant when we met the Galleta people writing. No, but I really do like this. This read the back. I think it's pretty straightforward, right? Where it talks about any class who's ever wanted to have power other than the ruling class or working class, excuse me. And I am going to make the distinction of the colonized poor and working class, right? Because we understand that, okay, is there poor white people? Whatever. They want their form of power of the white people working class is to be the ruling class, right? To rule over the poor and working class colonized people.
Yeah, they're just trying to climb that ladder. That's it.
Exactly, the white whipping class. They think that they can climb the ladder. And for the most part, they probably could if they really wanted to. Mm-hmm. But we understand, like it says in the next part, poor working class people, it's not that we want to be the ruling class. We want no class. We want to just live freely at the expense of nobody. Nobody to live at the expense of another. That's what we want. That's our goal, right? Is to erase that class, to erase the oppressor-oppressed system that we currently live in, right? The capitalist system, which, as we know, stems from colonialism, right? And where it says, also, I really like this part, whatever its achievement has always tried to find some way of disguising its real position and aims both from itself and from the exploited, and of making out that its rule is permanent. Yeah. Yeah, this is where liberals come in, honestly. This is where the Democratic Party comes in, where they're making themselves out to be of the people, right? Oh, no, we're one of you. We want to help you. Things like that. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, DP. Like, they just want to become the next Jeff Bezos. Or even, like, those, neocolonial sellouts that are, like, just like, oh, yeah, like, I'm the next, whatever, Obama, right? It's the same thing. Like, people just want to become the next, like, person in power. And where we're saying, and what this book is saying, is that the working class doesn't need to be that. Like, it doesn't need to be doesn't need to have its goals that, like, to be that. Why would they want to do that, when that would just mean that someone else is the working class? That would mean that someone else is at the bottom, when all of us instead could just be equal, right? And yeah, I also was going to talk about that, how it's like talking the disguising of its real position, as the exploiting class, right? These people are sneaky. They're like, oh yeah, I'm your friend, and then at the same time, just like continuing to, like, take from you and your family or whatever, right? Like, they just continue to do that. Lamb back, good Mayor Goodness, Chief Edie, from Nigeria. It's nice to see you.
International comrades up in here.
Yes.
And I do also just want to include the sellouts in here.
Mm-hmm.
the sellouts and the enemies, the infiltrators, because there are people who come into revolutionary parties like Black Hammer, into revolutionary organizations, and make themselves out to be our friends, and they make themselves out to be all about the political education, to be all about the working class, to be all about the work to serve the masses, but they're here for opportunistic things, right? They're here to make themselves look good. They are disguising their true intentions, and they are disguising who they really are. And like we always say here, the work will expose all, and so it's really important just to keep that in mind, like the work will show who is about the poor working class people, colonized poor working class people. Exactly, they don't have material interest based in anything other than themselves and how they can get further into whatever social status, or the thing that, like, honestly for me, the people who do this work because it looks good, I'm like, for what? Y'all acting like this work is easy. Like, and these are the people who go and like cry about it later.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. It's the people that are like, oh my God, my feelings hurt. Or oh my God. Yeah, this is so hard. They got no sweat. They got no sweat. They're not sweating at all, trying to do these things. They're not staying up late. They're not struggling. They're not even willing to commit that class suicide, let people into their house. Like, they're all about freaking charity, but not really. When it comes to them, nah, they're not about it.
I want to make it real clear. I do not watch reality TV. But there's this, y'all know that, what are their names? Their names. Those wannabe brown people, all of them. The Kardashians.
Oh.
There's this like clip that makes its rounds every once in a while onto my social media where one of the little girls is like, my earring or whatever, like fell in the ocean. And then the friend is like, people are dying, Kim. That's what I think about. Like, wait, is it the Kardashians or the? I don't know, man.
They're all the same.
Who got time? Who got time? Like, first of all, why do you want to see rich people live their lives? That's so ugly. But that's what it reminds me of. It's like these people are out here crying about the hard work where it's like we're working to save people's lives, to better the material reality of our poor working class colonized people. Like, yes, exactly. Like, it's so, and these people are worried about their feelings. Their feelings. Your feelings ain't shit. Self-critical. Like, they're materially speaking. Yes, please.
Hashtag people are dying, Kim. Yes, please.
And it's really not to make a joke of it, right? Because when you internalize the work that we're doing, nothing else matters. And that's what you unite to when you join Black Hammer. That's what you unite to when you become a chief, when you say to be cadre. You understand that the reality, the material reality of our poor working class people all over the world comes first and foremost. And anything against that, anything that goes against the work to better the material reality for our people globally, that's an enemy of the people. And if you're an enemy of the people, even if at your core you want to be cadre and you're struggling to be cadre, you do that through criticism. You do that through self-criticism. If you can't handle that, you're not for the people. Period. If you can't struggle against your own subjective individual feelings in order to serve the people to the best of your abilities, you ain't nada. Nada.
Good catch.
Thank you. You are nothing to the people, which means you are nothing to the party, which means you are nothing, period.
Yeah, when people are struggling every day and you're centering yourself, then what are you really about? Yourself, right? That's point blank, period. Like, if you're centering your feelings, then yeah.
If you're here because it makes you feel good, that's still about you, homie. That's still about you. If you're here because I know that I can do a lot of work, I know I can help the people, I know it's going to make me feel really good, I believe in myself enough to do it, which you should. But it's not about you. It should never be that. I'm going to try my best to serve the people as much as I can, as hard as I can, to the best of my abilities. And I expect and hope that my comrades will straighten me out when I do things that is against the people. Because again, even if you're cadre, you can do enemy stuff.
But yeah, land back. This was a really good discussion for that first read that back. I don't see anybody else's read that back. Y'all better be dropping them.
Seeing some comments. Yeah, it's not material to fulfill your individual desires. Because your individual desires have no lasting effect on anybody. But let's see your comments. Let's see your read that backs. We are opening it up.
Yeah, y'all better also, share on Twitter using that hashtag People Are Dying Kim, because that's hilarious. But especially with this book, that's really funny. All right. Okay, Cheem. I see you, Cheem, and Oju.
Oh, do you want to read Oju's?
Yeah, I'll read Oju's very quick. So page 10. In this philosophy, dialectical materialism are embodied the general ideas by means of which the party understands the world which it is in which it is seeking to change, and in terms of which it defines its aims and works out to fight for them. Basically, what dialectical materialism is knowing what you want and fighting for it. Y'all, that's what I'm talking about with this book. There's a lot of words. It's like in which, for thou, I don't know. Like there's a lot of stuff that's like a lot of fluff, But yeah. Therefore, moreover.
What does that even mean?
Don't even matter. But yeah, just my dialectical materialism, knowing what you need. And fighting for it. I need food. All right, what do I need to get that food, right? Or, I need resources, right? Like, I need dictatorship over my life, land, lives, and resources, right? All right, what do I need to do to get that, right? Start a revolution, right? Join Black Hammer. Those are the basic things that people like, that's basically what that one is about. But yeah. Land back. I appreciate that. Read that back, Oju. Thank you so much. And let's go into Cheems. You want to read that?
Yeah. But on the contrary, men can themselves change their circumstances, and men themselves are changed, not as a mechanical result of changed circumstances, but in the course of and as a result of their own activity in changing their circumstances. Basically, the same thing. Basically, yeah, like we have, that goes into point of unity number 1, right? Like we have dictatorship over our lives, which means that we can change, we can adapt, we can struggle, we can better ourselves and our circumstances if we work for it. Because this ain't no charity.
And working isn't a bad thing, y'all. Like right now, the way that the system works is that, we have to work for the colony to get what we need, right? But we can also take a little bit, like some side, time from working on the colony, right? Or, be like some people and be working for the colony on paper, but also be doing actions on the side, right? And, you know who you are.
We see you.
And doing that kind of thing, like, that is so that you can work for the revolution, and while supporting yourself and your family and your friends, right? And your comrades. But like you have that choice. You can make that choice to make that change. You just have to fight for it, right? You just have to work for it. And that's what I'm also talking about with these sellouts. Like they don't know how to work. Like they don't know how to work the system to get what they need. What not only they need, but the poor working class need. The reason why they don't do that is because they're sellouts. But anyways, I digress.
Moreover.
Therefore, but yeah, no, I really also appreciate this Read That Back, Chi. You always are, coming through. That was actually the one that I saw this morning, and I was like, ooh, maybe I need that in my Read That Back list, but it's okay. You got it covered. Appreciate you, too.
G said, the world is seeking to change colonized people are seeking that change.
Yes,
true.
So true.
And we're working for that change. That's why we're here. Because we understand that we do have the power collectively to like Michael Jackson said, be the change you want to see in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
not all of our labor should go to the colony. Exactly. But let's get into the next read that back.
Yeah, I got mine next. Mine is on page 15 of the book. So a little bit past that. I think probably page like 17 or something, or 19 of the PDF. But yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about, therefore, anyway. But yeah, Marxism, therefore, seeks to base our ideas of things on nothing but the actual investigation of them, arising from and tested by experience and practice. It does not invent a system as previous philosophies have done, and then try to make everything fit into it. Thus, dialectical materialism is, in its true sense, a popular philosophy, a scientific philosophy, and a philosophy of practice. Land back. I really appreciate this section, just because even when it comes to what we did and what we're going to do in New Orleans and Southern Louisiana, we have been coming up with all these protocols to how do we best prepare and react to natural events, right? But we haven't, and we've done trainings, right? We've been like, hey, this is how you do this, right? This is how you prepare for a wildfire. This is how you prepare for a hurricane or flooding, right? And we put out a lot of great information, but this is the first time that we've been on the ground. And this is us practicing our self-determination, practicing and helping other people practice their self-determination, right? And even with this, like dialectical materialist is going into like areas that are in need of like that type of support, and also just like giving them that self-determination so that they can practice that, right? And you can't we can be on our computers all day, typing, coming up with these protocols, right? But we won't know how well those protocols are until we practice it. And that's what this section is all about. So that, quick reminder, donate to Cash App, blackhammer.org, to support our next trip, so that we can continue to practice, so that we can continue to be better in these, and be dialectical, right? In supporting the community and coming up with these protocols. Because we know there's only so much that we can research but we also need to practice it in real life, right? And that comes with even just, doing outreach. You can be about, serving the people and on paper, right? Like, oh yeah, I write all these articles, or I'm putting out all these protocols, or, whatever, right? But if you aren't doing outreach in person, if you aren't talking to the people in person, you're not practicing what you're preaching, right? At the very least, like when you're doing that many things in the air, right? In the air, meeting, like in our offices, things like that. When you go and do outreach, you can also talk about it. You can also talk about it to the people and see what works, right? Like you can see how those things, like different people like different things. Like I've met people who are like really into photography, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. What kind of camera you got? Things like that. Like in the middle of a hood, people just, being like, oh, like, can I take a picture of you? Like I'll post it on my Insta, and they got a really nice camera, all that. And I'm like, great. Like we have, Agipop. You would be great to like just help us out with taking pictures, right? While we're doing outreach, right? And like also like help us take pictures of the community so that we can highlight it, right? Like highlight it and be like, yeah, this is like what the community is about, what type of things are they struggling with, so that we can help, dialectically, materially help them, or help them help themselves, right? And help build up that self-determination. So yeah, there's a lot that can go into this. But yeah, what you think?
So true. I really want to unite with the way that you broke that down, and with the PE itself. I do have to pull it up just because my brain be doing things.
Not me eating my own hair. Good stuff.
Yeah, I really this PE, what I thought of initially was like the struggles that we see as a party, and the way that we kind of can guide ourselves is through historical. You good?
Yeah, I just had a call.
Historical dialectical materialism, right? And we see that none of the struggles that we're facing are new to us.
Mm-hmm.
Not one of them. KTP, go in.
You're so right, though. I'm not,
No, but yeah, like, you know what? Let's get into that. What we're doing in New Orleans is the very first of many, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's setting the precedent for what MPA is going to do in the future, how we respond to natural events, because we know Mama Earth ain't slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
And we do not blame her. Yeah, Hurricane Larry, it was mostly like in the ocean, is causing blizzards in Greenland. Like a tropical system is causing blizzards, like snowstorms.
That's wild.
Wild stuff. And I mean, there's like 5 people in Greenland, so you know.
Yeah, they're all galletas anyway.
They're all galletas. Friendly reminder: if you have not translated what galleta means,
do that.
No, but I think this is a really important piece because, like you said, not only do we measure what we're doing against past revolutionaries and like our revolutionary ancestors, but we measure it against ourselves. Mm-hmm. We measure, like, every time we finish a project, every time we do anything, we immediately go into breaking it down. Cream cheese Danishes. Oh no. Do y'all know what nata is? Nata de leche.
Look that up, Sue.
Look that up. It's nasty. No offense if you like it. Actually, no, that's nasty. That's what YouTube people are to me. La nata de leche, like, just disgusting. It's the stuff the cows don't even want, bro. Like. Anyways, we measure against ourselves, right? Because we look at what we've been able to do and how can we do better for the people. And we don't take it personal because, again, it's not about us. It's about what we can do. We are critical. We are self-critical. We are self-critical about everything we do. Because we know that we can always do more. We know that we can always push harder. We know that we can always do better. We can cut out the bureaucracy even more. We can cut out the liberalism, the individualism even more. And to me, that's what this is saying. Like, based our ideas of things on nothing but the actual investigation of them, arising from tested and experienced and practice. Period. Like, we are going based off of what we've done and what has been done. Right, like we look at China's war on poverty, right, and like that's a goal for sure, obviously, but we have to be material about what our capacity is right now, you know. And so what we're doing is starting a free food POA, and we're teaching people how to in the colony get access to food to fight the food apartheid. Really, with like it's not an accident, right? That our people are going without food. It's not an accident that there are laws that say you have to throw out tons and tons and tons of food. It's disgusting. And so we can't eradicate poverty right now, but we can start putting out other things to help our people get fed.
Or put pressure on, the government so that the government, continues to collapse within itself, right?
Yeah. And putting pressure just means doing our thing. Yeah. Us being here, us talking about this, us being out with the people on outreach, like you said, is pressure on the state. Like it is, because even as the state crumbles and is seeing that dual contending power rise, it will start to help our people. It will start to disguise its true position, right? It will disguise its true position as a helper, as a friend of the people to stay in power. And we're going to start seeing that. We're going to start seeing that real soon. It didn't happen in Ida. It didn't. Let's be real clear. And it didn't happen in New York. in New York, which basement apartments flooded within 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is, and again, where are the resources?
Mm-hmm.
Like FEMA still has not fully helped anybody.
Yeah, I think the most recent last I heard was like, out of all the applications, only 38% in not just New Orleans, but southern Louisiana were like approved
for the next step.
Yeah, and then 20% of those 38 were were approved for the next step. Like they're still at like paperwork, bureaucracy that needs to happen before they get the support they need. Meanwhile, people are fundraising on Twitter trying to, pay for their hotel room. Like people are literally going through and trying and replying to every, hey, drop your Cash App so I can so I can, send you some money. Where is the dialectical materialism in that? That is just straight up bureaucracy. And also, I want to talk about what Oju said. Yes, overambition can lead to people not getting anything at all. We have to be material. Yes, being overambitious, being like, oh yeah, we can end poverty tomorrow, right? That is idealism. Like we have to build ourselves up to the point where we can do that, right? So what can we materially do to support our people right now, right? What can we materially do to show our people that the power that they have? So that they can join, and then we can continue to do more and up the ante, up the level, right? Continue to level up, and that's what we've been doing. Like as an organization, like we've been leveling up, left and right, especially after Cleveland now.
It's like all we did was lose the haters.
Yeah, and we're only doing better.
It's like technically you wanna like yes, did we lose people? Yes, but how come our work has increased? Mm-hmm. Anyways, that's all. I'm gonna let y'all think about that one.
I'm gonna sip my coffee right now.
You know who you are. Anyways, we can get into the next read that back. If y'all have any more read that backs of your own, please drop them also. But we're gonna move on. To mine. Oh, what a beautiful transition. This is on page 24 of the book. It'll be around page 28 of the PDF. Moreover, the word realism is much abused by philosophers. So long as you believe that something or other is real, then you may call yourself a realist. Some philosophers think that not only is the world of material things real, but that there is also, outside of space and time, a real world of universals, of the abstract essence of things. So these call themselves realists. Others say that although nothing exists but the perception in our minds, nevertheless, these perceptions are real. So these call themselves realists too. All of which goes to show that some philosophers are very tricky in their use of words. Land back. Trying to decide which part I'm gonna go in on.
Can I start with the funny part?
Sure.
Y'all.
Matrix people.
Yeah, these people, there's apparently certain people that, that one part. Others say that although nothing exists but the perception in our minds. Y'all, people believe in the Matrix still. They think that the Matrix is the reality. That's all I got. We were reading this part together, and we were like, what is this, y'all? Like, I just can't with these galletas. Like, these galletas are something else. That's all I got. Anyways, break it down.
Here we go. So honestly, this is not so much as for the philosophy of it all, because it's a galleta's point of view. But I do like this principle of people adapting words for themselves, right? Mm-hmm. Let's start with the word revolutionaries.
Mm-hmm. Or even activists.
Of course. Let's start Okay. Perception holds a lot of weight. Beliefs are more important to people than facts sometimes. You're absolutely right. And we don't condemn like having your beliefs, right? Whatever your beliefs are. Point of unity number 2 states that, and actually this goes really well. States that you can believe whatever you want, right? Every colonized poor working class person is equal no matter what your gender, race, religion, beliefs, whatever it is. That does not make you more or less. So long as you still fit with all the rest of them, right? And it kind of goes into that at the beginning of the book, where it says the materialist versus the idealist. And I do have contention with this, because this book says any form of spirituality, any form of like higher being beliefs immediately makes you an idealist. And I disunite heavily with that because, like you said, Andrew, our spiritual beliefs, our spirituality holds a lot of power for colonized people. It starts from our ancestors, right? Indigenous people, African people have had deities and beliefs that are so strong and so guiding, and they ground us into the material reality of the world, right? It's a different thing when, because of that, you fail to recognize colonialism and just the evilness of white people as the root, right? There are people who believe that it's just luck, that it just happened to be that we're in this situation, whatever this situation is.
Yeah, I remember even as a kid, I used to think that. I was like, yep, this sucks. I guess this is just, it was my turn on the hamster wheel to get this deck of cards, right? Like, this is like it was my turn to be put through this.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's the only part that like it goes into, at least for me, right? Where it says, exactly, yeah, unite. It's one thing to pray for rain and another thing to believe you can pray the rain into buckets. Exactly. And it's like you can pray for rain and set up rainwater collection systems and figure out how to live in a drought and figure out how to grow food in a drought, right? It's two different things. You're still praying, you still have your spiritual beliefs, but you're also a materialist, and you understand that because of your dictatorship and your power as a colonized person, you can build the power within yourself. You have the means and the knowledge and the brilliance to help yourself and help your people. And that's the material part, which can be tied with spirituality. And that's my main disunity with at least like this first section of the book, is that it makes them black and white. It makes them one or the other. Either you're a materialist or you're an idealist, and if you have any sort of spiritual like whatever it is, then you're immediately an idealist, and materialism does not apply to you. That's false.
but yeah.
But let me get yes, that was a great comment though. What I did want to get into was about how people use the term revolutionary, right? Because if you ask AOC and what do they call themselves? The Squad?
I don't know,
man. They're revolutionaries, right? They're revolutionaries. What do you mean? POC, female sign of birth people in the White House, making the oppressive calls. They're revolutionaries because they are the oppressed class, if you didn't know. The Democratic Party, revolutionaries. Black Lives Matter, who begs the pigs to stop murdering our people, are revolutionaries according to their standards, right? So for me, it's that word. It's like you're a revolutionary, but you don't ever go out to outreach more than twice a month. But you're a revolutionary. You're revolutionary, but you can't sacrifice your job because it's going to be hard for you. You're a revolutionary, but you can't accept the criticism to help you serve the people better. You're a revolutionary, but you will not open your home for your comrades. You're a revolutionary, but you cannot stand to be in a bad standing with a party because you messed up. But go off. But go off. It's like you're a revolutionary, but just because you're having a hard time. Can't do it anymore.
You're in your feelings.
You're
I need to heal.
So sad. You need that mental health break. You need that mental health break. But you're a revolutionary and you're a soldier for the people. The word revolutionary, y'all make it mean jack.
Mm-hmm. You all water it down.
Y'all erase what that means. What is revolutionary about going back to the colony? What is revolutionary about not sacrificing yourself for the people? That's in the little red book, y'all. Literally under communists. It says the needs of the people are first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm paraphrasing, obviously. I haven't quoted. But but you're a revolutionary.
Jaybird.
No,
that's so true. Like seeing commercials and it's like, oh yeah, look at this revolutionary
technology.
Blender. This revolutionary blender that can do it all.
Can we pull up DP's comment? That's all.
Oop. Yup.
I'm gonna just leave that there.
Don't even. Yeah.
It's like you're you're a revolutionary, but you got yelled at, so now you're gonna do everything to sabotage us.
Yep. Or you're not the star child anymore.
Without materially looking at the work that we're doing for the people. Even if you don't want to be a hammer, if you don't want to be a supporter, you're actively sabotaging work being done for the people. That makes you an enemy of the people, and that makes you an enemy of us. Mm-hmm. Period. Mm-hmm. You don't have to like us, but to stop us or to try to stop us from helping the people, how can you call yourself a revolutionary? How can you call yourself a servant of the people? Mm-hmm. Just face it. You were here for your own needs. You were here for your own ideas of what revolution was. Your own idea of what this was, which was a social party. Yeah. Where you could talk smack on white people, whatever you wanted, and it was fun time.
For you to find your own inner circle of POCs.
I found my people.
I feel so at home here.
Which
yeah, I mean I do too, but I don't put that before the revolution.
Absolutely not.
Right? I do feel at home here at Black Hammer, right? I feel like I have found not even just my people, but my purpose. That's the thing. It's not about, oh, I found my people, right? It's about me being yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to do this because I want to help serve the people, right? And I put that first before anything, right?
Let's make it clear. The love that we have for each other is 100% dependent on the love that we have for the masses. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Chief Thaney, who put it very beautifully. I just lost my entire train of thought. But the love that I have for Minister Ben, the love that I have for any of my comrades is because of what they do for the people. It's because of the sacrifices that they have made for the masses of colonized people. As soon as that ends, as soon as you give up, because let's make it clear, the contradictions don't make a revolutionary, it's how you overturn them. Mm-hmm. If you fail to overturn them, if you fail to struggle to be a better servant of the people, you ain't, to me, you ain't nothing. Nothing. Exactly. Objective revolutionary love is the best kind of love and the only love I want around me. Yeah. I don't want anyone to coddle me. I don't want anyone to spare my feelings or for them to expect me to spare their feelings when it's affecting the masses.
Ooh, say that again. I'm not here to spare feelings, y'all. I will tell you straight up, hey, you did this and that's messed up.
And we will not hold back. Here's the thing. Because again, lives are literally at risk. Mm-hmm. Your feelings are nothing. Your feelings are nothing compared to the life of even one single person. Mm-hmm. Of one single person. We have so much more at stake than that. We have the world. We have the world at stake, and your feelings ain't nothing. Oh, I didn't swear that time.
Good job. Salute.
And if you're here because you want to be taken care of emotionally and you want to be coddled, you want to feel like you're at an emotional spa and you're in therapy every meeting, get out. Mm-hmm. Struggle, internalize the PE, or get out. Mm-hmm. And y'all did, so thank you. And look at what we've done. Mm-hmm. Over 1,000 care packages to New Orleans, and so much more that is coming. Exactly, people are dying. Kim, can we just call them Kims?
Oh yeah,
the new Karens.
Yeah, the new Karens.
The new Karens is the Kims. the Kims of the revolution. Like, it just, there's so much more coming. And it's not just about going to New Orleans and giving people things.
Mm-hmm.
It's about giving them, first of all, the hope that they can do for themselves. It's the knowledge. We're giving them trainings on how to tarp their roof, on how to set up cooling stations. Because y'all, heat illnesses is one thing, right? Heat warnings, which we've seen all summer, is one thing. But humid heat,
Mm-hmm.
the main way that our body cools down is by sweating. The evaporation part cools you down.
Mm-hmm.
When it's humid outside, you don't the sweat does not evaporate. And after 95, once it's 95 degrees, your body does not regulate its own temperature. It needs outside intervention. I was gonna say whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're teaching our people to do. Because guess who doesn't teach? The colony.
Mm-hmm.
Because the colony does not care about our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Black Hammer is going to establish trainings, to establish key people, key places in the community where they can keep building on their self-determination, where they can keep building on their collective brilliance and their collective power and their collective love for each other, to save each other's lives. Because Louisiana ain't going nowhere yet. There's another tropical storm or tropical system happening in the, like, that's coming up to the Gulf of Mexico. New Orleans, the southern Louisiana, and southern Texas is gonna get hit again.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second one after Ida.
Mother Nature's not slowing down, so neither can we.
Exactly. Period. Mother Nature is not slowing down, and she shouldn't, because we live in her world.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make it clear. We live in her world.
Mm-hmm.
And we are literally just trying to survive in it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the colony won't let us.
And to be frank, we have known, like, our ancestors have known how to deal with these natural events, right? It's just that right now with the colony, like, there's certain things that we got to do to, like, even up the ante, right? Or to, like, reinvestigate those things. But yeah, I wanted to shout out some of the people that have donated very quickly. And if you haven't donated, please do. To the Cash App, blackhammer.org, so that we can keep doing like we're talking about, right? Like, especially with Hurricane Ida and all the new and increasing natural events that are happening around the world, but not just around the world, but specifically in southern Louisiana. We need to, go back. We need to continue to serve our people. So shout out to QC for $10 for the revolutionary teachers. Thank you. Laying back. And also, of course, Commander Ghazi coming in with $20 to the revolution. If our commander can donate $20, then y'all can do some maths with other comrades and donate whatever you got to make those $20, right? To match our commander. So yeah, donate. Our goal is 700, y'all. So please continue to donate or share. Get this stream out to everyone so that they can donate, right? Or hit up your Galleta friends, your friends or your family that can help you donate. Okay,
Ooh.
Comrade Red, with the you're like, let me double that and then do a little bit more, like a little, with that $50.
If you gotta give it to the people, period.
Yes, exactly.
If you gotta give it to the people, and if you don't share,
Mm-hmm.
Period. Like $700, y'all, is easy.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like a lot, but let's go. Okay, y'all, for this trip, we're trying to set up tarps, trying to set up a cooling station. We're trying to give more supplies out. Let's do $700 divided by, let's just do tarps.
Mm-hmm.
To cover half a house. How much was it?
It was, I think, $17 for a tarp.
For
one tarp.
$17 for
so
one
let's round
tarp.
it to $220.
Because the colony. To 20?
Mm-hmm.
True, because this is not even the hammers.
Yeah, the nails.
The tool hammers, because the hammers come free. That's all. Okay. Well, actually, we gotta eat.
But,
Let's whatever. Tarps alone.
mm-hmm.
That's 35. Look, I'll show you the math. 700 divided by 20. 35. Again, and that's for, on average, half a house. Let's divide that by 2. That's 17 and a half houses. That's not even a block. That's half a street.
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to do so much more for the people. We're trying to do so much more than half a street. And this is, again, just tarps, y'all. Just tarps.
Mm-hmm.
The people deserve it. The people need it. The colony has left them hanging, as always. So remember, donate Blackhammer.org
Mm-hmm.
on Cash App and Venmo. And put a little note in it. Put a little note.
I
Like,
love reading those little notes.
For Louisiana, because people are dying. People will continue dying. Most of the deaths on a hurricane are like the weeks following, either because of heart attacks, because it's an incredibly stressful situation, and people are left to rebuild their own homes, or because of diseases from the floodwaters or hazards or anything like that.
Or the humidity.
The humidity, because people don't got houses now.
Mm-hmm.
How are you supposed to cool down when your house doesn't even have a roof?
Mm-hmm. When you don't even have, when you don't even have like water to rehydrate, right? Like clean water, because with the flooding, you
can't trust the water.
Mm-mm.
You can't trust the water in places where it doesn't flood.
It's true.
It's an incredibly devastating situation, and the disaster is because of the colony.
Mm-hmm.
So help us fight the colony, even if, for you that looks like sharing 5 times, or it means donating $5 or $1 or pledging for your next paycheck. Like, y'all, do you really need that coffee shop coffee?
Mm-hmm.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Or is it your individual needs and you want it?
Mm-hmm.
It's those little struggles that help build you. A coffee ain't nothing.
Mm-mm.
Like, no te pesa nada. Anyway, to leave one coffee. To leave one coffee. Okay, Chim, $5. Exactly. Use your anger for the colony to keep you awake.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I want to get into my next read that back, because I don't want to keep everyone here for too long. But my next read that back is actually from chapter 3. So it's on page 30 of the book, probably closer to 35 or something like that, in the PDF. But yeah, so it goes, this is generally an essential part of the ideology of an exploiting class. And just to, for background, this is about mechanistic materialism. They are afraid of change because they are afraid that they too may be swept away. So they always seek for something fixed and stable, not subject to change. They try to hitch themselves onto this, as it were. Anyway, the earlier materialists too sought for this. Behind all the changing appearances, they looked for something which never changes. But while idealists looked for this, the eternal and changeless in the realm of spirit, these materialists looked for it in the material world itself. And they found it in the ultimate material particle, the eternal and indestructible atom. For such materialists then, all changes were produced by the movement and interaction of unchanging atoms. This is a very ancient theory put forward over 2,000 years ago in Greece and earlier still in India. Okay. So there's a lot in here. But the first part, is very true. Like, the exploiting class are afraid of change. So even if it is like even if they do try to be like, okay, like I see all of these like issues in the world and I want to make these changes, right? They're also afraid of it because that could mean that they lose their power, right? And even the petty boo like sellouts that are like, oh, I want to, or not, like the sellouts, the people that are in the government that are trying to make changes from the inside, right? Anyways, they are afraid to make actual like material changes. If they wanted to, like, so many different problems could be solved. For
Today.
real. Yeah, today. Like literally move some stocks around.
Get rid of stocks.
Yeah, get rid of stocks first of all, but also like even if they wanted to keep some kind of system, like they could change some things around. But they don't. You know why? Because they're afraid of change. They're afraid of losing that power. Yes, exactly, Chief Oju. Yes, the ruling class is afraid of truly responding materially to people's problems because it means that they work against their own material interests as colonizers. Yes. So that was the first part. And then it kind of goes into, you know, the atom being this like indestructible, eternal eternal thing, the basis of mechanistic materialism. Yeah, my thing is that last sentence, 2,000 years ago in Greece and earlier in India. Y'all, they just, first of all, I don't know if it's maybe, nah, I'm not even gonna give them that grace. But why are they putting Greece before India? Just looking at the order of the words, okay? Why not put, okay, like in India, you know, they discovered, or they had this ancient theory, and then Greece copied it. Because that's really what happened, is that Greece copied it. They're literally admitting, exactly, they're literally admitting that it's stolen from colonized people. Like, goodness. Anyway, so that's just on the order of how this is.
Alphabetical? No.
Alphabetical. Nah. Y'all, they literally just put that on purpose. They did that so that you know, of course, Greece. You know, Greece, like, when I think of Greece in a colonial sense, it is very much like, oh yeah, this is the hub of knowledge. Like, that is the type of crap that they put. India comes second because of whatever, right? Like, because of colonialism, because of their colonizer minds, right? So, but yeah, and yeah, exactly, Yahweh. Like, yet the colonizers say Marx started it all. But yeah, you know, with this read that back, I really just wanted to point out how the exploiting class continues to exploit and continues to, you know, do the bare minimum to seem like they're actually, anyway, to actually say that they are like, that they are making changes. They do the bare minimum to be like, oh yeah, like I'm doing this to help, right? They're passing laws to make, you know, certain things, you know, seem like they're helping. But first of all, how can a system based off of genocide, a system that is based off of, you know, exploitation, help people?
Help colonize
people. Yeah, specifically poor working class colonized people. Only poor working class colonized people having dictatorship over their lives, land, labor, and resources can actually help themselves, right? Have dictatorship over their life, right? And yeah, so I want to, you know, that's how I felt about this. Read that back. I don't know if you had any thoughts on it. But yes, land back.
Yeah. Full unity. I think you laid it out beautifully. Yeah, honestly, the mechanistic material, like, that's so.
Get out of here. It's also very robotic. It, like, if y'all got to chapter 3, the entire thing is like very like.
And it's also like the whole mechanistic materialism, whatever. It literally views people as machines, as cogs in the machine of colonialism. Like, they're not gonna say it. They're not gonna say it. Just like spicy whites won't admit they're white. Like, they see us as, there's this one part where it says that like people are meant to just like, basically you come into this world meant to serve or whatever. Where was that? Basically you just like come into like the order of the world, right? Some people are just meant to serve. And that's mechanistic, right? It's like there's just an order to the world.
I think I found it. This was on page 35 of the book. Yeah. The view that man is a machine is rooted in the view that in production man is a mere appendage of the machine. And if on the one hand this implies that the human machine ought to be well tended and kept in good condition, on the other hand it equally implies that no more should be expended for this purpose than is strictly necessary to keep the human machine in bare working order.
Period. That's exactly how colonialism sees us.
Yep.
We are meant. They keep us alive enough to work, but they keep us alive in a way where we have to work, in order to live. Like it's. Y'all, if y'all don't think this is made up, it was designed this way. This is like philosophy. It talks about is the way the point of view of the world based on your material circumstances, right? Who wrote this again? Remind me.
Galleta.
A galleta. Galleta is the term we came up with because I can't say the other one. Yahweh has a read that back, which we'll get into. Yet because it always tries to reduce all phenomena to the same system of mechanical interactions, it sees this change as nothing but an eternal repetition of the same kinds of mechanical processes, an eternal cycle of the same changes. Period. Like it change is constant, but exactly. Like it leaves no room for change, it leaves no room for development, and this philosophy leaves no room for revolution, which that in itself is wrong. Because when you treat people like human machines that are to be kept in bare working order, when you look at that materially and historically and dialectically, you're gonna have some problems. And that's us, homie. That's us. These colonizers really like made their own destruction. Because you can't oppress white people telling on themselves. Exactly. Like you can't oppress a whole group of people and then not expect a fight back. Look at it, any country ever. Look at it, any group of people ever. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Because we are people. We are humans. We are creations.
We are not, what is that? What was the appendage?
An appendage of the machine. Tell me what the machine is. First of all, tell me what the machine is and see if I want to play. Because the answer is no. I'm going to tell you right now. Unless, of course, that machine is revolution. And then, yeah, I am a servant of the people. The people.
But even that isn't even a machine.
No, because like, you're absolutely right.
Because a machine is like they said, like Yahweh said, is like literally gonna take the same, have the same processes for everything, right? We're dialectical materialists in the revolution. We continue to see, hey, what is needed and how can we serve?
Period.
And that is looking at looking at what literally, I don't even know how else to put it. Looking at what is needed from the masses, the poor, working class, colonized people, right? And how can we serve, not in just like, oh yeah, here's a handout, but how can we serve you so that you can see your own power and or help you organize so that you can help serve your community and build that self-determination. That is what every chapter in Black Hammer is about. Is literally like, it starts with one person, right? Doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you are one person, you can build a whole chapter.
Because if you're there and you believe in building that self-determination and building for your people, there are other people around you who believe the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's about introducing them to that, right? Like, don't be stingy with the revolution. Don't be stingy with that self-determination. Show it to the people. Be unafraid. Like, do not be afraid to show the people what we're doing, what you're capable of, and how much you love the people enough to fight for them, right? And to fight by building food systems, by building gardens, by building apps that will warn you about when a natural event is coming and will have access right there to how to prepare for them. Because y'all, this colony, a joke. Like
if you see a problem, right? Like, it's literally like any kind of math problem. Like, think of it like that. Like, for me, at least, I don't do math, but I at least do equations. A plus B equals C type of crap, right? So if you see a problem, that's A, right? And you're like, oh man, like, I don't know what to do with that, right? Like, how am I going to solve this, right? You see, okay, I need to do B to help work with A, right? If I put these two together, then I get what I need, right? If you see, okay, my community struggles with food, right? Sorry, y'all. I know that we keep on talking about Ministry of People's Affairs, but that's what we know best. But yeah, if you see your neighborhood or whatever is struggling with food, like people are on food stamps and they just cut out food stamps.
Happening every day?
Yeah, for real. Yep. Or unemployment, right? Like, what are you gonna do about it? Don't just sit back and be like, oh God, what am I gonna do about it? It's not just you, it's your community, right? And if you see that, then what are you gonna do to solve that? And not just for you, but for your community. You're gonna, organize, okay, who has internet? Who's willing for people to come over to their house and apply for X amount of jobs? Right? That is organization. That is dialectical materialism, because you see a problem and you're figuring out how you're going to solve it. Right? And doing that on a large scale, like all around the world, then people are going to build that self-determination.
Yep.
And have dictatorship over their lives.
This is fun. Let's do agitprop.
Yeah.
Agitprop. You see that the colonial news is reporting nothing but propaganda against your people. And just like straight up lying about who the good and the bad guys are, right? Or you're seeing like all this trash stuff and no news on natural events, or on how we can use agitprop, movies, music, whatever it is, to spread the word about revolution, to spread the word about our material conditions. You see that everything in the media is superficial. What do? You build an agitation propaganda machine who will be putting posts out like no other about what's actually happening in our communities. You make a revolutionary book trap to talk about past revolutionaries and how we can learn from them, or revolutionary theory or revolutionary anything to help build our people up mentally, to get revolution to the people, right?
Or in this case, dig through all the extra words,
all the galleta crumbs,
all the
galleta crumbs to get to the good part.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do defense. You see that our people are not equipped to defend themselves, or to even know how to take care of their bodies, or to being played by the system, the legal system. So what do? You build a bad defense apparatus who has classes every week on how to train yourself, on how to get your body and your mind and your spirit right, and a legal office to help our people, to guide our people through the colony.
Or you see that people don't know, their rights as far as, how to deal with the pigs, right?
You make pig protocols.
And
you give them to agitprop to get it to the people. Like, it's a whole thing, right? I'm going to plug Natural Events Preparedness Committee one more time because that's my baby. You see, actually, maybe, okay, anyway, I could go on, but I'll try to keep it short. You see all of these natural events coming. First of all, they're not in the news. Second of all, it's all about how to help after you've been destroyed, after the colony has just left you hanging, right? So what do? You build a committee who does all of the research that's already out there, because colonized people are brilliant, and I've been dealing with this for centuries. And you put it in one pretty little place, and you make flood protocols and hurricane protocols and fire protocols and winter protocols, and you make posts out and posters, and you get it to the people through agitprop. Dialectical materialism.
And that's what this entire organization is built off of. What do the people need, and how do we get it to them? Literally every step.
And once we do something, how can we do better? How could that have gone better?
Yeah.
It's never, I did it, cool. Congratulations.
Yeah,
everybody.
Good job. Oh my God. We did so great, y'all.
We did so amazing.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
Please. I think Minister Ren watches the Kardashians.
I did once. At one period of my time, I did because I lived with galletas.
And quoted it to me.
Yeah, I did.
Quoted it to me during a revolutionary conversation.
Yep.
Um,
Not knowing, mind you, I had like forgotten who it was from. I was like, oh yeah, this is some kind of pop culture reference. Let me make it.
and I said at the time, I was like, "Chief friend, please stop."
I was like, what? Is that not? I don't know.
Okay, Chim said, we must fight back against the colonial state apparatus and build our own revolutionary and dialectical method, and always improve upon those methods.
Yeah.
Period. The work never stops. Even when we're free, it's about building, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, full unity, y'all. We are putting it all.
But this was so good, y'all. This I know if y'all read along, there was a lot in here. A lot of therefores and moreovers. A lot of, goodness. A lot of fluff, as I'd like to put it, But I appreciate everyone being in here. I think that, we're gonna continue to break this down. So that we can get to the good stuff, and also call this galleta out for all of their misinformations, and and everything. So, but I would like to wrap it up. We have some amazing announcements to get to. So let's get into that. First of all, speaking of, New Orleans and Southern Louisiana, we have an amazing public live meeting on Tuesday at 7:00 instead of our rally.
Eastern.
7:00 Eastern. So that instead of our rally, we're gonna just be having a meeting, literally just talking about the victories of going to Southern Louisiana and New Orleans, and also just opening it up for y'all for questions, and. If y'all were in the last public meeting, we spilled some tea. We talked a little bit about the worms that were in here, the gusanos. So, maybe we'll spill a little bit more. So if y'all are, available at this time, if y'all want to be in this meeting, then make sure to be there at 7:00 Eastern on Tuesday. You want to do the next one?
For sure. And if you yourself are a galleta, and you if you are a galleta and you unite or you agree with what we've been saying and you understand that as a white person you inherently benefit from the colonial state, which oppresses colonized people, and you don't want that to be your reputation. If you want to cut the ties between you and your ancestors, then join the Reparations Corps. The Reparations Corps is, we have classes where we will explicitly lay out exactly how you have participated in the oppression of colonized people. And you really want to work towards the liberation of poor working class colonized people, join the Reparations Corps. If you are a colonized person and you have galletas in your life, and you want them to understand what they do to oppress you, because it is there, whether, oh, but they're nice to me. No, man, no. If they're not actively committing national, I don't know if I can say that word, so I'm not going to say it. But if they're not turning against their, I don't even, like, inheritance.
If they're not giving up the power that has been given to them.
No, that they took.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yes, if they're not actively disuniting with their nation, and trying to give back that power, which was taken by force from our people, and from the land, get them into Reparations Corps. And it might be a hard conversation, because if someone is not actively disuniting from their nation for your benefit, then who are they to you, really? And that's a good conversation to have.
Yeah, and I think even this book would be great in the Rep Corps, to be honest. Like, this book, it's written from a galleta, written by a galleta. So even just debunking the galleta thoughts and actions that are in here, right, is, powerful. But yeah, this is, if you have any friends that are of this of this shade of color, then make sure they
Lack thereof.
lack
thereof.
or lack thereof of the melanin, then yeah, give your trust funds as reparations. 100%. Yes. But yes, and also join agitation and propaganda. You know, this is what has created this amazing, as you know, what the government broke it down. We need to break down these books, right? We need to get this political education out to the people, and one of the apparatuses, or the main apparatus that does that, is agitation propaganda.
Yep.
And agitation propaganda is the crux of making sure that like information gets out to the people consistently, not just political education, but also, you know, life-saving information that Natural Events Preparedness Committee comes up with, or that Food Ministry or Defense or anybody comes up with. Agitation propaganda, because we see that people are on their phones all the time. So agitation propaganda, make sure that y'all get it, right? And that's what sharing does, right? If you share, the more times you share, you know, because we see that this propaganda machine works against us because we're revolutionaries, right? So by joining agitation propaganda, by sharing, you're helping overturn that contradiction, right? So join by emailing us right there.
And for next week, we will be reading chapters 4 through 6. So make sure to get your reading on. We do have the PDF on our library, or in our library, whatever. And we will be here next week, same time, to break down these crumbs for y'all and get you the good stuff. And I mean, you should still be reading. But that way we can discuss. We want to see more read that backs. So yeah, we hope to see you here next week with your read that backs, with your trivia questions or answers, not copying off of anybody. But yeah,
land back, y'all. I really appreciate everyone coming in here, learning a little bit more about dialectical materialism. And you know, we're gonna continue to break this book down. So make sure y'all are reading it, chapters 4 through 6. Again, don't forget. And yeah, land back, y'all. I hope y'all have a good day. If you're doing outreach, go serve the people dialectically and materially. Land back, everyone.
Land